In the grand chambers of the Galactic Council, thousands of alien voices echoed across the massive crystal hall. Every seat was taken. The tall, curved walls shimmered with data streams. Glowing holograms of battle fleets floated in the air. The leaders of the most powerful empires in the galaxy were present. Their robes sparkled. Their medals shined. They had gathered to speak of war, power, and dominance. And today, they had only one small matter to discuss. Earth, a tiny blue planet on the edge of the Orion Arm. A place most of them had never visited, are nothing but metal scavengers, roared General Zorvac of the Velvex Empire. He stood in the center, wearing black armor, his forearms crossed proudly. A wave of laughter rolled through the chamber. The lights flickered with the noise. "Yes, I've seen their ships," shouted Alanic Prince. "They're like flying junkyards. They can't even power a clean warp drive," hissed Arisian Diplomat. "They still burn chemicals too. Launch ships, one by one," the leaders mocked Earth. "They send weak trade vessels into our space, hoping for mercy. They beg for minerals, for scraps. They are harmless." Even the screens above showed clips of Earth's last known ships, small, slow, poorly armed. "They should be grateful we haven't claimed their planet yet." Zorvac laughed, baring his silver fangs. "But they will learn soon. We've already destroyed one of their ships that crossed into Velvex space." Cheers followed, applause, but not everyone was smiling. In a quiet corner of the chamber, the figure did not clap, he did not speak, he did not laugh. Commander Krex of the Tholon Union. Krex had dark blue skin, his eyes glowing like moons. He was old, wiser than most in the room, and he had studied Earth, not from above but closely, carefully. He had watched their silence. He had seen their strange signals stop. He had tracked their trade ships vanish one by one. He had read the last message from the Earth Embassy. "This will be our final contact. Let your empires laugh while they still can." Krex's claws tapped against the edge of his chair. He didn't trust silence, especially not from a species like humans. Commander Krex, General Zorvac called out suddenly, noticing his quietness. "What's wrong? You look worried. Do you actually fear the Earthlings?" The crowd laughed again. Krex stood slowly. He looked around the chamber. "I don't fear them," he said simply. "I respect them." The laughter died down. A few heads turned. "Respect?" Zorvac raised an eyebrow. "For humans," Krex nodded. "They do not shout. They do not beg. They listen, they learn. And now they are quiet. Because they're broken," someone shouted. "No," Krex said. His voice was calm but firm. "Because they are building." Whispers filled the chamber. A low hum of unease spread among the council. "They have no fleets, no allies," said a Zentari admiral, "and no war record to fear," added a Han Queen. "They have patience," Krex replied. "They have history. Earth is a planet of survivors. They've faced world wars, plagues, even near extinction. And every time they rose." Zorvac laughed again. "Commander Krex fears a bedtime story." Krex didn't reply. He simply sat down, eyes focused forward. Far from the grand chamber, in the cold blackness of space, a small Velvex probe drifted quietly. It had been sent to scout near Earth's system. Its job was simple: gather data, watch for movement, listen for signals. At first it found nothing. No ships, no transmissions, no defense stations. Just cold silence. Then, on the third rotation of its sensor cycle, something changed. The stars behind it flickered. A dark shape moved between constellations. It was big, very big. The probe focused its camera. The image came back, unclear, blurry. Something massive, slowly turning. Its surface glowed faintly red, like heated steel. When I had no lights, no windows, no flags. Just a silent, hulking presence in space. The probe ran its ID scans. No match, unknown design, unknown size class, unknown power source. It tried to send a message back to the Velvex fleet, but the signal lagged. The system glitched. Strange object turned toward the probe. For a brief second, the probe's sensors caught something else. A symbol burned into the ship's dark hull. One word, EARTH. Then everything went dark. Back in the council chamber, General Zorvac's comms device buzzed. He opened the private channel. A Velvex officer appeared, panic in his eyes. "General, the probe was sent near Earth. It's gone." "Destroyed?" Zorvac asked. "Unknown, sir. We received one corrupted image before we lost contact. I'm transmitting it to your panel now." Zorvac tapped the screen. The image loaded. Blurry, fuzzy. But it was clear enough to make him freeze. A shaped dark, massive, glowing red. Not a fleet, not a base, a ship. Larger than anything Velvex had. "Is this a trick?" Zorvac demanded. "No, sir. The AI confirms it's real. We don't know how long it's been there." Whispers rose again in the chamber as Zorvac's expression changed. "Council members," Krex said, rising once more. His voice was louder now, stronger. "You laughed at Earth, but they did not laugh back. They vanished. They watched." And now he pointed to the screen. "They return." Cliffhanger ending. As the council stares at the mysterious image from space, alarms begin to sound across Velvex stations. Unmarked signals are appearing near outer patrol zones. A message begins to broadcast from deep space, not in human language, but in galactic standard. Only 2 words. Stand down. The image from the lost Velvex probe spread across the Galactic Council like wildfire. Even those who laughed at Earth now sat in silence. Some tried to say it was a glitch. Others claimed it was a trick. But the blurry picture told a different story. A giant unknown ship. No design matched it. No empire claimed it. Only one word burned across its surface. EARTH still. General Zorvac refused to believe it. He slammed his fist on the command table. Send a scout team now, he ordered. I want answers, not shadows. Within hours, a sleek Velvex scout ship VXS-9 jumped into deep space, heading straight toward the edge of Earth's solar system. It was fast, silent, and armed with cloaking tech. The best in the Empire. Inside, Captain Lorvik sat with his crew of 6. His orders were simple: find the object, scan it, return. The crew expected an empty system. They believed Earth had no more power, no more ships, nothing but dust and memory. They were wrong for the first few hours. The mission was calm, no signals, no movement, just the stars and the quiet hum of the ship. Then, the ship's sensor officer, a young Velvex named Reen, frowned. Captain, she said, we have something strange. Lorvik turned. Show me. On the screen appeared a dark shape far ahead, but massive. It didn't move. It didn't glow, but it blocked the stars like a wall. Reen zoomed in. The shape was long, too long. Its surface was rough, as if it had armor made of layered stone and metal. There were no lights, no engines, no windows, just a quiet monster in the dark. Is it a base? Someone whispered. No, Lorvik said, his voice dry. It's a ship. They drifted closer, slowly, carefully. Then something strange happened. Their ship's lights flickered. The controls froze. The AI failed. Captain, we're losing systems, shouted the engineer. And then, a low sound filled the air. Not from the ship's speakers, not from any machine. It came from outside, a slow hum, deep, cold, like something alive. Suddenly, the main screen blinked. Static. Then a flash of a symbol, a glowing Earth, spinning, red circle around it. Then a voice, humanmail.com. You are trespassing. Lorvik jumped. What language is that? The AI couldn't translate. But Reen somehow understood. She whispered. They said, you are trespassing. The ship turned to escape, but the engines failed. Gravity around the strange object pulled them in like a hand. Oh no, get us out, Lorvik shouted, but it was too late. The crew screamed as the scout ship was dragged toward the giant vessel. Then everything went black. 2 days later, only a small escape pod was found, drifting far outside the Velvex border. Inside was a single survivor. Reen. When the rescue ship opened the hatch, they found her shaking, eyes wide open, whispering the same thing over and over. It's not a ship, it's a monster. It watches, it learns, She had clawed strange symbols into the walls of the pod. None of them matched any known language. She had gone mad. Back on the capital world of Veltor, General Zorvac slammed the report on the table. This is madness. One ship can't do this. Krex, standing beside him, said nothing. Zorvac growled. She's lying. That girl was broken. The Earthlings probably hacked her mind. Krex finally spoke, or maybe she saw something. We are not ready for. Zorvac turned sharply. You're starting to sound like one of them, Krex. Krex didn't reply. He looked at the sky instead. Across the galaxy, rumors began to spread. Whispers of a ship, a human ship, but not like any before. A ship with no crew, a ship that moves without fuel, a ship that appears and disappears without warning. They called it different names: the Black Star, the Silent Flame, the Dreadnought. But one thing was always the same. Wherever it appeared, no alien ships returned. In a mining colony near the Trioc sector, a small alien freighter caught sight of a shadow, blocking out a nearby moon. Before they could react, the ship powered off completely. Every system dead. Life support failed. In the cold dark, the crew screamed. Then, a bright red beam scanned the ship, silent and smooth. It passed through the walls, through bodies, through souls. When the lights returned, the alien crew was unharmed, but something was different. Each one had a symbol burned into their minds, an image of Earth, a warning. The council demanded answers. More scout ships were sent. All vanished. Satellite networks were hijacked. Even the image of the human dreadnought shook the galaxy. In the past, Earth was mocked, weak, poor, quiet, but now they had built something impossible, something that moved without sound, responded to nothing, and destroyed without effort. The council were scared. Meetings were held across star systems. Alarm sirens rang in military zones. Trade routes near Earth's border were frozen. Some species began evacuating outer colonies, but General Zorvac of the Velvex Empire refused to back down. They've made a ghost ship, he said to his war council. Let them scare fools with it. I will burn it into dust. No one challenged him. He was still one of the most feared commanders in the galaxy, proud, strong, dangerous. He pointed at a star map glowing in the center of the war table. We strike now, he said. We send a battle group, 7 cruisers, each with a full destroyer escort. We reach Earth space in 4 cycles. The officers nodded. Once we confirm what this so-called dreadnought is, we destroy it. Operation Iron Mirror began 2 days later. 7 of Velvix's deadliest capital ships launched from orbit. Their weapons were powered to full. Fighter swarms circled them like insects of war. The fleet's path was clear straight into the shadow of Earth on board the lead ship, Glory Fang. Admiral Velkar stood on the command bridge. He had seen many battles, crushed rebellions, burned pirate worlds, outwitted machine empires, but even he felt uneasy as the stars warped around. "Them report all sectors," he ordered. "Sector 1 clear. No movement, no signals. Sector 2, weight gravity field. Spike detected." Velkar turned sharply. "What kind of spike?" "Unknown," replied the technician. "Like space is being pulled from somewhere." Velkar stared into the black beyond the glass. "Get me visuals." They zoomed in, then they saw it, the dreadnought, but now it was closer, clearer, miles, long, thick black metal across its hull. Still no lights, no engines visible. It looked like a fortress carved from a dead star. The ship didn't respond, didn't scan back, didn't run. It just floated. Then it turned slowly, quietly. Its front faced the fleet. Velkar narrowed his eyes. "Targeted. Lock weapons." "Sir," the weapons officer said, "our targeting systems are being confused." "Explain." "The ship's surface. It's absorbing our scans like a mirror." Velkar clenched his jaw. He gave the order, "All ships, fire." The first wave of weapons launched plasma torpedoes, ion disruptors, kinetic cannons. 7 ships unloaded at once. Flashes of color, heat waves, explosions brighter than suns. For a moment the sky burned. Then the flames cleared and the dreadnought was still there, untouched. Not a single scratch. Silence fell across every bridge. "Sir," said a junior officer, voice shaking, "it didn't move, it just took it." Then the dreadnought replied, not with words, not with signals, with action. From the belly of the ship, 6 long, sharp arms extended. They did not glow. They did not hum. They were silent but sharp, like spears meant to pierce planets. One ship in the Velvex fleet, the Storm Echo, suddenly lost power. Its engines died. Shields failed. And then the dreadnought struck. One arm shot forward so fast. No one saw it move. The Storm Echo cracked open like a crushed egg. No explosion, just silence. And then pieces, floating in the void. Panic spread. All ships scatter. Evasive maneuvers. Shields too full. But it didn't matter. The dreadnought moved again without turning, without firing in any normal way. Its arms cut through space like razors, slicing a second cruiser in half. The Velvex fleet, so proud, so deadly, was being taken apart like toys. Velkar stood frozen. "This isn't a ship," he whispered. "It's a weapon." Within minutes, 4 of the 7 Velvex cruisers were gone. No survivors. Only 3 ships made it back through hyperspace. 2 of them were heavily damaged. The third carried a warning beacon. Velkar's final message: "We were wrong. It's not here to fight, it's here to end war. We do not understand what Earth has made, but it knows us. It's watching, and it remembers everything." Back on the Velvex capital, chaos spread. General Zorvac was speechless when he saw the destroyed fleet logs. "This isn't possible," he shouted. "We used everything plasma ion mass drivers. They didn't even fire back, sir," the tech officer said. "They just disarmed us." "Did anyone survive?" "One escape pod from the Crimson Talon." They opened the pod. Inside, an officer clutched a data cube and nothing else. He had no armor, no helmet, only a message burned into his palm: "You attacked first." The council met again in emergency session. Every empire was present. No jokes this time, no laughter. They watched the battle footage. 7 Velvex ships crushed by one. Then Krek stood. "I warned you," he said. "You mistook Earth's silence for fear. But humans do not fear. They wait." "What is that thing?" someone asked. "A living ship. AI. A god." Krex shook his head. "It is the result of Earth's anger, their patience, their pain. We taught them to stay low. We laughed when they begged for peace. Now they answer in silence." Whispers filled the chamber. "What does it want? Why didn't it attack our cities? Why didn't it speak?" At that moment, a signal came through. Not from Earth. From the dreadnought. A simple, short broadcast. "In Galactic Standard, this was your warning." Then it vanished. No location, no return path, just a signal. And the cold, across the stars. Fear spread. Some empires began closing borders. Others sent peace messages toward Earth, unsure if anyone would answer. And some, like the Tholans, began preparing for the worst, because now the galaxy understood something it never believed. Earth wasn't primitive. Earth wasn't weak. Earth was patient, and it had just shown the galaxy what that patience had built. Cliffhanger. Ending far beyond known space. Deep in the Oort cloud near Earth, a second object began to move. Not the dreadnought. Something bigger. Something older. And on its side, barely visible, written in ancient Terran language: "Project Silence activated." Across the galaxy, silence grew louder. The destruction of the Velvex Battlegroup 7 cruisers gone in minutes was not just a loss, it was a warning. Earth had shown its teeth, and now the galaxy trembled. No one knew where the dreadnought had gone. It had vanished after sending one short message. This was your warning. But Earth said nothing else. No speeches, no news, no threats. They simply watched. Inside the Tholon Union archives, Commander Krex stood alone. His clawed fingers tapped across an ancient holopad. He was reading old Terran transmissions, requests for peace treaties, rejected trade deals, warnings, ignored by the Council for decades. Please respect our border. We only seek trade, not war. We request neutrality. He had warned them. He had studied Earth for years. He now understood. Earth never wanted war, Krex said aloud, but now they accepted on war. The Velvek's capital world, Velto, tension was everywhere. The loss of their fleet had humiliated the Empire. General Zorvak's pride had cracked but not broken. We must strike first, he declared in a closed-door war council. They caught us off guard. That was one ship. One. He slammed his fist on the war table. We will hit their shipyards. If Earth has more weapons, we destroy them before they awaken. The plan was formed quickly. A stealth missile codenamed Eye of Fire would be launched. It would target Earth's outer orbit, where alien sensors believed a hidden construction. The zone might exist. No ships, no fleets, just one silent missile, fast, unstoppable, deadly. The missile launched from deep space beyond known lanes. It traveled alone, silent, cloaked in light-bending armor. It crossed asteroid fields, past black comets. No one saw it until it reached the Oort cloud. There, it met resistance. Not weapons, not ships, something stranger. Thousands of tiny drones, shaped like shards of glass, swarmed from the void. They moved like birds, flowed like liquid. The missile didn't detect them until it was too late. The drones did not explode. They simply touched the missile, dissolved into it, and shut it down. Within seconds, the Eye of Fire was dead, floating cold. Then something in the dark opened from the blackness of the Oort cloud. A new object began to move, not fast, not loud, but huge. Bigger than the dreadnought. Much bigger. The structure looked like a broken moon stitched together with black steel and glowing veins of blue energy. Its shape was round, but uneven, half-station, half-dash machine. It had no name in alien databases. But on one side, scorched into metal, was a line in ancient Terran script. Project Silence activated. The Velvek sensors picked it up. Panic spread instantly. What is that? Another dreadnought? Is it? A base. General Zorvak's screen flashed red. Emergency signals from listening stations near Earth screamed warnings. One word repeated: movement. Before anyone could react, Project Silence fired. It wasn't a beam. It wasn't a missile. It was something else, a pulse made of pure data. A code wave, invisible, silent, instant. It hit the Velvek shipyards orbiting their core planet, and everything stopped. Engines powered down. Shields fell. Defense grids collapsed. Every system offline, not destroyed, not damaged, just dead. The Velvek's High Admiral tried to launch his command ship. It didn't move. He pulled his weapon, aiming at a technician. Restart the core. I can't, sir. It's not broken. It's just listening. Screens across the galaxy that showed it happening in real time. Dozens of Velvek's factories silenced. Hundreds of defense drones frozen mid-flight. Billions of credits and weapons turned to useless metal. A voice echoed inside military comscom. Human, automatic, Earth requests. Silence, you refused. Now you will understand. In the Galactic Council, no one spoke. Krex watched the chaos unfold from his chamber. The other races stared at the... Across the galaxy, silence no longer meant peace. Ever since Earth revealed its power, the deadly dreadnought, and the strange dark station called Project Silence, empires had stopped laughing. The Velvek shipyards were still dead. Their systems hadn't restarted in days. Spy satellites picked up no more human signals. No trade ships, no Haju noisy, just the heavy pressure of something watching from the dark. But what terrified the galaxy most wasn't that Earth attacked it, was that Earth attacked once, then disappeared again. No demands, no invasions, no explanation, only silence in the deep space command center of the Tholon Union. Commander Krex stood in front of a large holomap. Tiny red dots marked destroyed. Velvek's ships, blue dots marked territories that had declared neutrality, and one single massive black dot pulsed slowly in the void. Earth's dreadnought. It had returned to silence after the strike. No one knew where it was now, but everyone knew what it had done. And Krex knew what was coming next. They didn't destroy Velvek's, he whispered. They warned them. His aide looked confused. Why? They could have ended it. Crushed the Empire. Krex stared at the map. Because Earth is not interested in war. They're interested in control. In message, they don't want to fight. Every empire, they want every empire to see. See what happens when Earth stops speaking. Back on Veltor, the Velvek's capital planet, fear had become normal. Shields were raised. Patrols flew non-stop. Cities were locked down. Drones scanned the skies. The Empire's pride was wounded but not dead. General Zorvak sat in a deep command bunker, tired, furious. He had just returned from a failed speech trying to calm the population. It hadn't worked. Even the people were whispering now. What if Earth comes here next? They won't, Zorvac told his guards. They don't have the reach. But as he said that, an alert siren began to howl. Unidentified object entering planetary orbit. A tech officer screamed, large, very large. Everyone in the control room froze. Zorvac stood slowly, put it on screen. The hot flickered, then showed space above Veltor. A shape entered view. It was not fast. It didn't need to be. It was the dreadnought, bigger than anything in orbit. Black metal, red glow. It didn't fire. It didn't speak, it just floated, directly above the Velvex capital. Panic exploded across the world. Military channels screamed. Defense weapons locked on. Fighter squadrons launched, but none of them got close. As soon as any ship came within 10 kilometers, they stopped working. Engines failed. Systems froze, like toys held by invisible hands. Some crashed back to the surface, others drifted helplessly, but still. The dreadnought did nothing, it just stared. In the Velvex high tower, Emperor Varnax demanded answers. Fire everything, he ordered. Destroy that thing. We tried, sir, a soldier shouted. We launched missiles. They vanished. What do you mean vanished? I mean they never reached the ship. They disappeared mid-flight. No impact. Number. Explosion. Then, all over the planet, screens turned black. Government screens, civilian devices, even military terminals. Then a message appeared. 2 words. White text on a black background. We watch. Then it changed. We remember. Then another. You laughed. Finally, the last line flashed. This is not war, this is balance. And then a map. The display showed the galaxy. Territories lit up in red, yellow, and green. Red, empires that had attacked Earth in the past. Yellow, those that mocked or blocked Earth's diplomacy. Green, those who stayed neutral or helped. Then a glowing blue circle marked one system, VEL-Tor. Suddenly, every screen across the planet began counting down. 10 o'clock, 9:59, 9:58. Panic exploded. People ran. Ships tried to launch. General Zorvac ordered a mass evacuation of all military sites. Where's the weapon? He demanded. What is it? A bomb? A virus? But no weapon came. The dreadnought stayed still, silent, waiting. At T-0 o'clock, the screens flashed again. One final message. We could have ended you, but we chose not to. Next time, we won't ask for silence. Then every system restarted, lights flickered back on, shields powered up, ships reactivated. The dreadnought disappeared. Gone, as if it had never been there. On Veltor, silence followed, but this time it wasn't Earth's silence, it was Velvex silence. Shame, confusion, defeat. They had been warned. Face to face, not with bullets, not with battles, with control, with the kind of power that only Earth now held in the council chambers days later. Every empire was watching the broadcast from Velvex. Many didn't speak. Even the loudest species, Larnak, the Resi, and the fire-tongued Sari, kept their mouths shut. Only one speaker asked the question all feared. If Earth can reach Velvex space like that, what's stopping them from doing it to us? The answer came from Crex.com as always. They're not trying to rule. They're trying to end the game, and they're doing it without asking permission. All over the galaxy, the balance began to shift. Some species rushed to open diplomatic channels with Earth, others pulled fleets back from borders they'd once claimed. Trade guilds that had blocked Earth's mining rights now opened talks. The Han in Accord sent a cultural envoy with gifts. The Zari offered shared research agreements. Even the pirate clans of the fringe stopped raiding. Human cargo. Fear had become respect, and respect was quickly turning into submission. Still, Earth said nothing. No ambassador appeared. No treaty was signed. No ship answered calls. Only one human signal kept repeating in the background of every star system we are watching. Cliffhanger ending, in a small listening station near the galactic core. A hidden probe detected something strange, a second dreadnought-class signal moving near the black hole systems, but this one was different. Larger, sharper, and its energy signature matched nothing in any known database. A hidden file opened on the Tholon Union's most secure channel. Inside were 3 words. Phase 2 begins. The galaxy no longer slept easy. Ever since Earth's dreadnought had entered Velvex space, stared down the Empire, and vanished without a shot. Fear had taken root, not just fear of destruction, but fear of what comes next. For weeks now, Earth had remained silent again. No attacks, no demands, no presence, just the echo of a message. Next time, we won't ask for silence. And then, something new. Deep in galactic core space. A hidden listening probe near the collapsed binary stars of the Obsidian Rift picked up something strange at first. It thought it was a glitch. The stars behind it bent slightly like space was folding. Then came a pulse, a slow hum, deeper than gravity. The probe activated emergency mode, and then the signal hit. It wasn't radio, not light, not code. It was a feeling. The probe's AI went quiet just before full system shutdown. It sent a final message to its creators. New object detected, unknown class, larger than the dreadnought, behavior and unhostile nature, unclear signature. Match Earth classification, Phase 2 status, run. That message reached exactly 3 species. The Velvex Empire still rebuilding, the Tholon Union watching. The Galactic Science Accord, the most advanced research faction in the galaxy. None of them knew what Phase 2 meant, but they all agreed on one thing: it had begun. Tholon. Union Secret Council Room Commander Krex stood before a small table. No guards, no advisors, just one transmission playing over and over, a swirling image of the galactic core, a faint black shape moving through star trails, and 3 Earth words pulsing beneath it. Project Lament, active. What is Project Lament? Asked Minister Jella, voice shaking. Krex turned. His eyes were cold. The second gift. Earth already showed its dreadnought. They silenced Velvex. What else could they possibly show? Krex walked to the display and tapped a hidden Tholan archive file. We found this in Earth's old diplomatic transmissions from a century ago, back when they were still asking for peace. He opened the file. A video played. It was grainy, primitive, human leaders speaking at a table. The words echoed. Translated perfectly. We hope the galaxy understands one thing. We do not want to conquer, but if you push us, if you force us to raise our hand, then we will raise something far worse than war. We will raise memory. Terran Alliance, 92 years. Krex looked around the table. I believe Project Lament is Earth's memory, their history, their warning turned into a machine. Someone laughed nervously. You're saying Earth has built a ship that remembers? Krex nodded. Yes, and I think it's not just remembering, it's judging. In a hidden Resian science lab, the galaxy's top cyber intelligence team tried to decode the signal Earth left behind. They thought it was just a message, but when they ran the code, their entire lab shut down. On every screen, one line appeared. You had the chance to hear us. Now you will feel us. And then it played. A video. Not an attack, not a threat. A recording. Earth cities in ruins. Mushroom clouds, old human wars, genocide, famine, apocalypse. The room grew cold. The scientists stared. Frozen. Earth had recorded everything they survived. Every pain, every fire, every loss. And now they were sending it out in the same hour, across a dozen empires. Earth's Project Lament activated in small bursts. It didn't destroy it. Revealed. Each world received a version of the same message, but personalized. The Zari received images of Earth's burned rainforests and oil-choked oceans. The Resians saw Earth's failed utopias. The Velvex saw wars, ones they had laughed at, civil wars, proxy wars, nuclear winters. The Tholons received one chilling video: a lone human boy, standing in a field of ash, holding a cracked toy spaceship. Behind him, a city burns. The boy looks into the camera and says, "Is this?" The galaxy watched in silence as the truth spread. Earth wasn't a broken world. Earth wasn't alone. Earth wasn't waiting for mercy. It was growing, quietly. In the dark. 20-7 Terran colonies lit up on the galactic map, each one real, hidden beyond asteroid belts, dead systems, or cloaked nebulae. Some were mining worlds. Others were silent fortresses. And one on the edge of a dying star was simply called the Forge. In the Grand Council Hall, leaders of the strongest species sat in fear. The Velvex Empire, bruised and exposed. The Resian Matriarchy, usually arrogant, now silent. The Larnok Horde, once laughing, now whispering. In the center of the room, a live image of Earth's message repeated again. This is not revenge. This is the consequence of being ignored. Then came a second line: you feared humanity would rise. You were right. But we did. Not rise alone. The screen changed. This time it showed humanoids, not Earthborn, but Earth-made. Clones, hybrids, artificial soldiers, grown in labs, raised in gravity chambers, trained for endurance, built for survival. They called themselves the Children of Earth. On Colony Terranine, Commander Elia Kane stood on a platform above rows of fresh troops, not humans but designed from humans, faster, stronger, loyal, but still, aware. She looked up at the red training sky and spoke calmly. You were not born to conquer. You were born to remind them what Earth never forgot: how to survive. Go into the stars, go to their worlds, not to destroy, but to stand, watch, listen, and if needed, protect our home. The soldiers saluted. From orbit 15, black ships launched quiet, weaponless. They didn't head to enemy space. They headed to neutral zones. 2 weak planets, forgotten colonies, trade stations, guardians, not invaders, but that's what scared the galaxy most. Risian Sector. Orbital Market 9 F3 merchant clans fought for control of a trade hub orbiting a gas giant. Their ships blocked cargo, people starved, drones battled day and night. Then, one day, the drones simply shut off. No damage, no hacking, just silence. A ship appeared, small, dark, marked with a blue Earth symbol and a single word: Observer. Out walked 2 figures, tall, calm, human, but not human. Children of Earth. They said nothing, they carried no weapons, and yet, all 3 merchant clans surrendered. They handed over the station, called for peace, asked for guidance because something in the observer's eyes told them, if we fight, we lose more than just territory. In the months that followed, the pattern grew. Earth did not send armies, it sent presence, it sent witnesses, it sent memory. Children of Earth arrived at refugee planets where the Council never gave aid. They healed the sick, repaired old tech, gave food. They didn't ask for thanks, only silence. But when one pirate group attacked a child of Earth on a lonely asteroid station, the response was final. Within 10 minutes, the pirate's base vanished. Not exploded - erased. All sensors showed the ground beneath it had been hollowed, atom by atom. A signal played to every listening station nearby. Touch them again, and we will show you how we ended our own wars. Tholan Union Krex's private chamber commander Krex received a visitor. A single shuttle landed at the edge of his observatory. From it stepped a tall figure female.com, wearing a black jacket with no insignia. She looked human, but wasn't. Fully. Her name was Erin 11, a child of Earth. Krex didn't speak at first, neither did she. They stood and looked at the galaxy map together. After a long silence, Krex finally asked, "What are you doing?" Erin 11 answered softly, "Fixing the broken parts, one star at a time." "You mean ruling?" She shook her head. "No, guarding." "Then why now?" Erin turned toward him. Her eyes were deep gray like storms trapped in glass. "Because Earth is finished with waiting." Galactic broadcast, untraceable origin. A new message lit up across all official channels, in every language. Simultaneously, the era of empires is over. No throne will last. No council will rule over the many. We are not alone anymore. We are everywhere. The children of Earth walk among you. Protect peace or be replaced. On council worlds, fear turned into fury. The Velvex declared the message an act of war. The Larnak horde sent fleets to reclaim their lost territories. Now under Earth, observation, but something strange happened. Their ships never arrived. The jump gates shut off. The warp relays scrambled, and then, without warning, every fleet command center received a video. It showed each fleet commander's home city. Footage taken from low orbit. No explosions. No threats. Just a message underneath. We could have arrived first. Galactic reaction. The Rizian matriarchy surrendered its outer systems to observer status. The Tholan Union requested a formal alliance. The Larnak fleet mutinied. Soldiers refused to fire. Half of them were already infiltrated by children of Earth, working as engineers and medical officers. Even pirates and criminal guilds began flying under Earth's protection, calling themselves Terran compliant. The galaxy was no longer under siege. It was under observation, and not by drones or weapons, but by minds. By children who had never known weakness, who had only been born to remember. On the edge of the galaxy, a final signal left the Terran core. Worlds. It passed through black space, through dead stars. Through dead stars, past forgotten relay stations. It was not a threat. It was an invitation. A calm voice spoke, carried across space. "If you're still out there, if you watched us grow and wondered, know this: we survived. Not because of you, but despite you. And now, we are ready to meet you, as equals." The signal continued into the void. Into intergalactic space. Toward someone, or something. Earth was no longer afraid. Cliffhanger ending. Inside a hidden chamber deep beneath the Velvex capital, General Zorvac watched the stars with bloodshot eyes. He had just received a top-secret file, unmarked, not from Earth. Inside were 3 lines of ancient Terran code. Phase 3, memory unlocked. They will not come back as students. They will come back as judges. He dropped the datapad. Because behind him, without warning, the room grew cold. The stars were no longer ruled by empires, not by force, not by flags, not anymore. Now, the galaxy listened to Earth, but not the old Earth, weak, begging, ignored. This was Earth reborn. A force wrapped in silence, carried by memory, and protected by its children. The dreadnoughts had vanished back into the void. Project Silence was asleep once more. The children of Earth walked calmly through alien space, and above it all, the final project was about to awaken. Deep beneath Earth's surface, a chamber sealed for 200 years pulsed with soft blue light. No humans walked inside it. No leaders spoke. Only machines stirred. A small voice, calm, female, gentle, echoed in the chamber. Phase 1, observation complete. Phase 2, reflection complete. Phase 3, judgment, activating. A countdown began, not seconds. Cycles. 1 cycle to prepare. Then the galaxy would be judged. Galactic Council. Emergency assembly. All major powers gathered. But the seats of power felt weaker now. Velvex generals stared at their hands, remembering how Earth erased their fleets without a sound. The Rizian matriarchs whispered in fear. Their dreams of dominance crushed. Even the once proud Larnak horde silent at the center of the chamber. A new hologram rose. It wasn't sent by Earth. It was from one of the children. She stood tall, in a black coat, eyes glowing faint gray. Her voice was simple, clear. "Earth has given the galaxy time to correct itself. You were warned. You were shown. But now, Earth will decide what kind of galaxy it will live in." Someone shouted from the Velvex side. "You don't have the right to decide that." The child's eyes narrowed. "We earned it. With every year you ignored us, every ship you destroyed, every plea you mocked, we begged, you laughed. Now we remember." At the edge of the galaxy, the final dreadnought returned, but it was not the same one from before. This one was bigger, sharper, covered in mirror-like panels that reflected stars. It had no name, only one marking burned across its side. Judgment Class Terra Central. Memory, core, location, unknown. Voice played quietly inside Earth's hidden AI system, a record of everything. Which species offered peace? Which worlds remained neutral? Which empires helped refugees? Which ones laughed at Earth's suffering? It wasn't just numbers, it was history, and Earth had written it all. Down 12 neutral worlds, simultaneously 12 council-neutral planets awoke to see children of Earth orbiting them, not to attack, but to test. Each planet was given a message. You have 7 rotations to explain your history, your compassion, your cruelty. All will be reviewed. This is not about punishment. This is about truth. What kind of galaxy do you want to live in? On some worlds, leaders tried to lie. On others, they confessed crimes and begged for forgiveness. Some refused to speak. Those who stayed silent too long found their systems slowly failing without violence. Food replicators stopped. Channels shut down. Power grids flickered. Earth never fired a weapon that simply removed comfort. And then it listened on Veltor, capital of the Velvex Empire. General Zorvac knew his time was short. The Judgment-class dreadnought now hovered above their skies. No weapons activated. No sound, just presence. Citizens refused to leave their homes. Shops were closed. Skies were black. Then a signal came to Zorvac directly. Not to his soldiers. Not to the public. To him it played one line. Would you like to speak for your species? He stared at it, swallowed hard, and pressed yes. A black room surrounded him. Simulated but perfect. A single chair sat across from him, and a Tay woman. Human, not old, not young, dressed in plain gray. No weapons, no guards.